Have you ever looked at a simple slice of cheese or a bowl of ketchup and wondered who on earth decided that was a good idea to eat? We interact with our food every single day, grabbing snacks on the go or cooking dinner without giving it a second thought. But almost everything on your plate has a bizarre, forgotten history involving ancient medicine, accidental discoveries, and strange marketing campaigns. Welcome to part 1 of the hidden history of everyday things, where we are looking at the surprising past behind the foods we take for granted. Let us kick things off with ketchup, a condiment that has practically become a food group of its own. When you dip your fries into a bottle of red sauce today, you are enjoying a sweet and tangy tomato-based staple. But if you hopped in a time machine and traveled back to 17th century China, you would not recognize it at all. Back then, ketchup was not made from tomatoes. It was a fermented fish sauce called kochayap, made from the guts of pickled fish, spices, and brine. British traders encountered this savory concoction in Southeast Asia, loved the intense umami flavor, and brought it back home. Over the next century or two, British and American cooks experimented by adding mushrooms, walnuts, and eventually, in the early 1800s, tomatoes. The tomato version was a massive hit, but it was actually marketed as a patent medicine in the 1830s, promising to cure everything from indigestion to jaundice. It was not until the early 20th century, with the invention of modern food preservation and vinegar stabilization, that ketchup finally shed its medicinal roots and became the sweet condiment we know today. Speaking of things we put on our food, let us talk about something you probably sprinkled on your dinner last night: black pepper. Today, it sits humbly in a shaker right next to the salt at every diner and kitchen table in the world. It is cheap, ubiquitous, and completely ordinary. But for thousands of years, black pepper was one of the most fiercely contested and valuable commodities on planet Earth. It was known as black gold, and for good reason. Ancient Romans traded massive quantities of silver for it, and when the Visigoths besieged Rome in the 5th century, they reportedly demanded thousands of pounds of black pepper as part of the ransom. During the Middle Ages, merchants who traded in pepper were among the wealthiest people in Europe. It was so precious that individual peppercorns were used to pay rent, dowries, and taxes. The obsession with finding a direct sea route to the Spice Islands of India, which ultimately led European explorers to sail around Africa and accidentally stumble upon the Americas, was largely driven by the European desire for black pepper. So the next time you grind a little bit of pepper onto your eggs, remember that you are seasoning your breakfast with something that once started wars and built empires. Next up, let us take a look at something sweet: the humble carrot. When you picture a carrot, you almost certainly think of a bright, vibrant orange root. But for most of human history, that is not what they looked like at all. The wild ancestors of the carrot, which originated in Central Asia and the Middle East, were thin, woody, and either purple or yellow. Purple carrots dominated the ancient world, while yellow varieties were cultivated later in places like modern-day Afghanistan and Iran. So, how did the orange carrot take over the global market? You can thank 17th-century Dutch agriculturalists. Dutch growers selectively bred mutant yellow and red carrot seeds over generations to create a sweet, bright orange root that honored William of Orange, a key figure in the Dutch struggle for independence. The orange variety tasted better, grew more reliably, and quickly became a patriotic symbol in the Netherlands. From there, Dutch farmers exported these orange carrots across Europe, and they completely replaced the older purple and yellow varieties, permanently changing our visual perception of the vegetable. Finally, let us unwrap the story of chocolate, a treat that has brought comfort to millions of people for centuries. Today, we associate chocolate with sweet, creamy candy bars, hot cocoa on a winter night, and sugary holiday gifts. But for the vast majority of its 3,000-year history, chocolate was consumed exclusively as a bitter, frothy, and sometimes spicy liquid. Mesoamerican civilizations like the Olmecs, Maya, and Aztecs harvested cacao pods, fermented and roasted the beans, and ground them into a paste. They mixed this paste with water, chili peppers, cornmeal, and vanilla, creating a rich beverage that was considered sacred. The Aztecs served it to emperors and warriors, often foaming it up by pouring it back and forth between vessels. When Spanish conquistadors first tasted it in the 16th century, they actually hated it, describing it as a bitter drink fit for pigs rather than humans. It was only after the Spanish added cane sugar and honey to sweeten it, and started serving it hot, that the drink gained popularity among European royalty. Solid chocolate bars as we know them today were not even invented until the mid-19th century, thanks to new industrial machinery. From fermented fish sauce and imperial spices to patriotic root vegetables and bitter royal elixirs, our daily diet is packed with wild stories. Which everyday food do you think has the weirdest hidden history? Let us know in the comments below, and make sure to subscribe so you do not miss part 2, where we dive into the surprising past of everyday household items.